Hello everybody, it's that time again. I've completed yet another sketchbook. This is my fourth one, I believe now, that I've completed the whole way through. And without further ado, let's get into things. So I started this on the 19th of June, 2023. And I finished it just recently on the 20th. Took a lot longer to finish the sketchbook than I would have hoped. I was hoping for like maybe 4 months, because the one before this I finished relatively quickly. This one took a fair lot longer, but I really enjoyed this sketchbook and I think I've grown a lot. But anyways, on this first page I have an angel statue, which I did a couple of these in this one that kind of caught my eye on Pinterest. This is watercolor. It's pretty simple. Wanted to start off with something that looked nice, but didn't strain me too much. We have a couple sketches. This was the reveal of Pikmin 4, like the first trailer. So you'll see a lot of those sketches early on here. A lot of watercolor early on in this sketchbook. I like how these all came out. This one's really nice. It's just a random collage with a little doodle on it. Tried experimenting with different textures on here. It turned out okay. I definitely worked on faces a lot though in this sketchbook. Some marker mixed in here as well, more watercolor. More watercolor. Again, there's another statue. Kronk. These are marker, my ohuhus. But I really wanted to get more faces done. As you can see, this is when Vampire came out. And here's when I saw Spider-Verse. There's a lot of Spider-Verse going on in this. Well, Spider-Man in general. This was from the 4th of July. I just got inspiration randomly and I decided to use my microns for this. It's actually pretty detailed here. I haven't done an animal drawing like that since, really, I feel like. Then experimenting with color here, I like how that turned out. More faces. I was gonna do like a whole series of like the Greek gods in my sketchbook, but apparently I only got to Hermes. Pretty bland if I'm being honest. A couple of these faces are gonna look pretty choppy. I was taking notes. And this one has nice colors. I think that's supposed to be Keanu Reeves, but it didn't pan out very well. This is a sketch for my dragon, same with these. The short of that's up on my channel if you want to watch it. It should be called the greatest fantasy painting of all time or something like that. But this is more of what the final turned out being. I don't like going too in depth with my sketches, but I do like getting a general idea. Again, more faces. I really like how this sketch turned out. This is a funny swimmer cap guy with 2 fish covering his eyes. I liked it. Or like this banana hat man. And then the cat. And I didn't realize it, but a lot of these sketches got covered up by the marker on the other side. However, if you can see, I did a nice little battle droid there, and there's Shaggy. This was experimenting with logo design. And this was when Barbie came out, if you couldn't tell. I like how this PewDiePie looks. It's pretty accurate. There's a Porsche 911. A lot of these are sporadic doodles. I think this was from my head, if I remember correctly. A bit odd, but we go with it. Again, a lot more sketches. These were with, I think, just pens from my bag. In this case, looks like we're starting to get to Halloween. I was doing some experimentation for my Halloween shorts that I did. Some architecture reference. Okay, this whole spread looks really nice. They're not associated, but I do like how both of these came out. These are just a couple statues, still life, and this is just a random copy I did. But I only use microns on these, no pencil, and I think that kind of gave me a lot of confidence. They're pretty messy, but I like how it kind of works in its favor, at least for me. And this was a CD, and I painted on it, and I had no place to put it, so I just threw it in my sketchbook. And I don't really like how I did the Posca around it. However, I do like how the CD came out, especially for never painting on a CD before. Bunch of sketches for stuff I would do outside the sketchbook. More faces. In 2023, I did this thing where I drew every single day, or I created something, rather. So that could be a painting, or I just did small sketches, and apparently this was all I did, because that was the week I was feeling really sick. So I did a couple of not so great sketches. And this is where Inktober starts. This whole series is on my channel if you'd like to watch it. A couple of these turned out pretty good. Other ones are a little iffy. Particularly, I'm fond of this one, just because of the skeleton mainly. I like the composition. Kind of reminds me of Mistborn, the book by Brandon Sanderson, though I hadn't read it at that point. I stopped coloring these because I lost a lot of motivation, and they ended up looking rather bland, if I'm being honest. That was when Five Nights at Freddy's came out. And here's the final day. It looks okay. More face experimentation. Cool little Spider-Man sketch. Here's a sketch from my brother, and a couple more face sketches. They're a little rough. This one turned out okay. Little robot up here. So for these next 3 pages, I experimented again, and I only used micron, but I wanted to do a bunch of the same stuff, just only using a monochrome color scheme. But it's random objects. So like a hand, a dummy. It was things I spotted around me, as well as things that looked cool on Pinterest. So we have an old Civic, soccer ball. This one's kind of small, but I do like how it came out. There's a jazz player, a monkey in a chair, a Pepsi bottle. I saw the ports on a TV, and C-3PO in a top hat. There's a Dodge Viper, Spider-Man, another eye, a grasshopper, blocks, and then pumpkin pie. Again, really random. This must have been after my birthday when I got gouache, which I still haven't experimented with, but I do later in the sketchbook. But here's Gwen and here's Deadpool. And I don't really know how to use gouache completely yet, so I kind of smear the pages where I do use it. Here's a portrait of Brian O'Connor from Fast and Furious. Here's R2-D2. I feel like it would have been better if I spent more time on it. I didn't. As I said, got busy on here. I'm guessing school got in the way, which tends to happen as of late. Here's the sketch for my other dragon painting I did. And a nice axolotl in gouache. some pretty random sketches in here. Boba Fett. This is entirely, or almost entirely, imagination here. Not sure what those notes are for. I like how this gouache little sketch came out. A lot of sketches on this page. Here's Crazy Frog, a little robot. We have Grim Reaper, which kind of got inspired by my book, kind of off the book. It's random. Tried only using Posca for this one. Didn't turn out that well, but it was fun to try. And here's a nice little sketch of a dog. I guess I did kind of do a few more animal sketches. A bunch of rather ugly portraits in here. Then Optimus Prime thrown in there. That's a sketch for a painting I need to do still, but I don't know if I will. I like how this one came out. These are characters from my other book. Very rough sketches that I didn't refine at all. Very rough gouache painting. I was still experimenting there. Mizu from Blue Eye Samurai, and a couple of portraits. And here we have the sketch for a miniature that I threw away because it didn't come out properly. But I'll probably retry it again. More Blue Eye Samurai stuff. I watched that show in like 4 days, if I'm being honest. Again, a lot of faces. If there was a theme for the sketchbook, it would be faces. All this is book notes. Apologize that's not sketches, but you know, peacock. A lot of faces. The best one, or my favorite one, here is probably Ellie's. And I just noticed Garfield here in the corner. It'd been a while since I've done colored fruit, realistic colored fruit. So I did cherries here. It's been since last year probably. Here's some stuff for our Mistborn painting that I haven't done yet. We see some of the gouache leaking over to this side. This whole spread's rather chaotic, but I like it. We have Ratatouille, Remy in the corner, some designs, more designs, some Koroks all over the page, a samurai dude, a lady, a monkey in a bed, a random worm, a bunch of doodles like branches, Mizu again, Starscream, a tree, a cupcake, and another portrait. And with that, it leads us to the final page. This is a small little gouache painting I did for Tears of the Kingdom, which I still haven't finished. But it's Link on this side with the Master Sword still in the dragon. And then Zelda holding the Master Sword still broken up top. But I think it turned out alright. Link here is rather vague, his face. Because, I mean, the cel shading style does kind of make it look vague. So I kind of tried to capture that here. And Zelda up top. While this color is different than the actual reference image, I do like the color still, so I kept it. My only complaint with her is how choppy I am still with gouache. But that's definitely a work in progress. And here you can see all the colors I used. And I have two little quotes here if you'd like to pause and read them. But besides that, that is my, how many months is this? 7-month sketchbook? A nice one. If you're wondering, this is the Strathmore Mixed Media sketchbook. I think that's what it's called. Again, a lot of portraits, a lot of experimentation. I would have loved to do more watercolor mixed with gouache, maybe more markers, but for the most part, my confidence with portraits has improved. And I'll probably keep doing portraits in the future because I still need to work on them. But Great sketchbook. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.